Hey everyone, and welcome to JBC English Learning Academy. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It means a lot that you're here investing your time to improve your English. If you enjoy learning English in a fun and practical way, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more lessons designed to help you speak with confidence and fluency. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself struggling to speak English, even though you know a lot of words? Maybe you pause too long searching for the right sentence, or your mind just goes blank when you try to respond quickly in conversation. Don't worry, that's not your fault. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how confidently you can use them. And that's exactly what today's video is all about. I'm going to show you how mastering 800 essential English sentences can completely transform the way you speak. These aren't random sentences, they're carefully chosen to cover the most common real-life situations you face every day. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand them, you'll use them naturally without hesitation. Let's be honest, most English learners get stuck because they focus too much on grammar rules or vocabulary lists. You study hard, you memorize, but when it's time to speak, your brain freezes. Why? Because English isn't about translating words. It's about recalling patterns. And the fastest way to do that is through sentences in action, practical, real-world examples that your brain can instantly recall when you need them. So, here's the deal. Over the next hour, we'll walk through the system behind these 800 sentences, why they work, how to use them, and how to practice effectively so you start speaking with real confidence. You'll finally stop sounding like you're studying English and start sounding like you own it. Let's begin with something most learners don't realize. Confidence in English isn't about knowing more words. It's about knowing what to say next. Think about it. Native speakers don't pause to think about grammar. They use chunks, short, complete patterns like "I was wondering if," "that sounds great," or "let's grab something to eat." Each of these sentences is like a ready-made tool. Once you know it, you can use it in dozens of different situations. For example, take this one. Could you give me a hand? It's a simple request, right? But you can use it anywhere, at work, at school, with friends. Now once you master that one sentence, you automatically gain the pattern. You can adjust it easily. Could you give me some advice? Could you give me a moment? Could you give me directions? See how that works? One sentence becomes a foundation for 10 more. That's the beauty of the 800 sentence system. It helps you build a core fluency foundation. You don't just memorize, you internalize. These sentences are your building blocks for natural communication. So, how do we use this method in action? Let's start with what I call the sentence activation technique. It's not enough to read or repeat sentences. You need to activate them in your brain by connecting them to context. Here's how it works. Hear the sentence. Picture the situation. Repeat it with emotion. For example, if the sentence is, "I can't wait to see you," don't just repeat the words. Imagine you're talking to a friend you haven't seen in months. Feel that excitement. Say it with real tone. "I can't wait to see you." That's how you train your mind to think and feel in English, not just translate. Another example that's not going to work. You might say this in a work meeting when a plan seems unrealistic. Say it with intention. "That's not going to work." Notice how Your voice and emotion make it real. When you do this, you're not memorizing English. You're living it. Now let's talk about something crucial. Why 800 sentences? Why not 100 or 1000? The number 800 isn't random. It's based on research about language frequency and usability. In real-world conversations, around 800 unique sentence patterns cover the majority of what you say in everyday life. Whether it's making small talk, giving opinions, asking questions, or expressing emotions, those 800 patterns give you everything you need to be functional, fluent, and confident. Think of it like this. English is like a toolkit. You don't need every tool in existence. You just need the right ones. And once you master these 800 tools, you can handle almost any situation. You can ask for help, give advice, agree, disagree, express feelings, and tell stories all naturally. Let me give you a few examples from this list. I'll get back to you. Used in professional or casual settings. I haven't thought about it. It's up to you. Don't take it personally. That makes sense. Each of these sentences carries subtle meaning and tone. For instance, it's up to you can sound polite or passive depending on your voice. That's where real fluency starts. Not just knowing the words, but using them with the right rhythm and tone. So, here's what I want you to do. While watching this video, don't just listen. Speak along. Pause the video. When I give an example, repeat it out loud and make it yours. The more you speak, the faster your brain adapts. You'll go from passive learning to active confidence, and that's where the magic happens. All right, let's dive deeper into how these sentences work in real situations, because understanding them is one thing, but using them naturally is where fluency truly begins. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine you're in a cafe and the barista says, "Hey, how's it going?" Now, if you've only studied textbook English, you might freeze or think, wait, what's the correct grammar response here? But if you've practiced real sentences in action, your brain instantly knows what to say. Pretty good. How about you? Or, not bad. Thanks for asking. That's the power of sentence-based fluency. It prepares you for real English, the kind people actually speak every single day. Now, let's break down the idea of the confidence breakthrough. Because, truthfully, lack of confidence is the biggest reason most learners can't speak freely. You know the grammar, you know the vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, silence. Why? Because your brain is searching for rules instead of ready sentences. See, native speakers don't construct sentences from scratch. They retrieve them from memory and patterns. Think of it like this. When you hear, "Do you mind if I?" your brain doesn't stop to build a new sentence each time. It just finishes the pattern. Do you mind if I sit here? Do you mind if I open the window? Do you mind if I borrow this? Once you have these sentence templates in your head, speaking becomes automatic. It's like having a set of shortcuts your brain can instantly access. No translating, no hesitation. That's why this 800 sentence system works so fast. Now, I want you to picture this. You're in a meeting or maybe talking to a foreign friend. You're nervous, trying to find the right words, but because you've practiced sentences like, "Here's what I think," "I see your point, but," or "That's an interesting idea," your confidence spikes. You don't think, you speak. Naturally. Smoothly. Let's practice together for a moment. Repeat after me. Here's what I think. That's a good question. Let me explain. Simple, right? But these are the sentences that make your English sound confident and professional. Every fluent speaker uses them constantly. Now, here's a secret. The faster you activate your sentence memory, the faster your fluency grows. Most learners repeat sentences passively. They listen once, maybe twice, and move on. But the real key is active recall. You have to force your brain to pull those sentences out without help. Here's how you can do that. Step 1. Listen to a sentence and repeat it aloud. Step 2. Wait 10 seconds, then try to recall it without looking. Step 3. Create your own version of it. For example, if the original sentence is, I'm running late, you could make it, I'm running late for work, or I'm running late because of traffic. This tiny exercise turns your passive learning into real conversational ability. Now let's explore the second part of our journey, the 800-sentence foundation and why it's so effective. These sentences are not random. They come from authentic English, real conversations, not grammar books. That means every one of them has practical value. For example, I've been meaning to tell you. Used to start a personal conversation. You've got to be kidding me. Expressing surprise or disbelief. That's not what I expected. Used in daily reactions. When you start using sentences like these, you don't just speak English, you feel it. You connect emotionally. You sound natural. And what's even better, these sentences cover every part of life. Casual talk, work, travel, school, social media, emotions, arguments, everything. It's like having a personal phrase book that actually works in real life. Let's look at a few quick examples in context. Situation 1. A friend cancels plans. No worries. We'll do it another time. Situation 2. You're surprised. Wait, are you serious? Situation 3. You need to buy time to think. Give me a second to think about it. Every one of those sentences feels natural and automatic once you've heard and repeated it a few times. Now here's something interesting. The pattern recognition effect. Once your brain starts recognizing patterns, it learns to predict what comes next. So instead of memorizing 800 separate sentences, you're actually internalizing 8,100 key patterns that repeat across hundreds of sentences. That's why your fluency skyrockets so quickly. For example, if you learn the pattern, I've been, suddenly you can say, I've been working all day. I've been thinking about you. I've been trying to call you. 3 new sentences instantly, same pattern, different words. That's how native-like fluency builds. The trick is consistency. You don't have to spend hours every day. Just focus on activation. Choose 10 new sentences daily. Repeat them with emotion. Use them in small talk and reflect on how they sound. Within weeks, you'll feel the difference. Most learners underestimate how powerful repetition and emotion are. You can't just read English. You have to feel it. When you say, I'm so proud of you, imagine saying it to someone who means something to you. When you say, I totally forgot, Imagine that moment of realization. That's how your brain stores natural English emotionally, not academically. And remember, fluency isn't about perfection. It's about connection. You don't have to speak perfect English to be understood. You just have to speak real English. All right? Now that you understand the foundation, let's start applying these 800 sentences in real, everyday contexts, conversations, interactions, and moments where your English confidence can shine. Let's jump straight into practice, the part that transforms what you know into what you can use. Imagine you're at work or school and someone says, "Hey, could you give me a hand with this?" You don't pause to translate. You've already practiced your response from the 800 sentence set. Sure thing. What do you need? Of course. Happy to help. Let me take a look. These short, powerful sentences are confidence triggers. They keep the conversation flowing and they sound natural, exactly what native speakers say without thinking. Now, let's try another. Picture you're running into a friend you haven't seen in a while. What's your first reaction? You could say, "It's been ages." "Wow, long time no see. I can't believe it's you." These are the kinds of sentences that make your English sound alive. You're not just speaking, you're connecting. All right, now let's do something interactive. I want you to repeat these sentences out loud with me. Don't just whisper. Say them with full energy as if you're actually in that moment. Ready? That sounds great. You've got to be kidding me. Let's catch up soon. Good. Now, close your eyes and imagine a real situation where you'd use each of those. That's how memory locks in. Your brain connects words with real emotion and context. And suddenly, you're not memorizing, you're living the language. Here's a quick technique I call sentence awang. When you hear a native speaker say something in a movie, YouTube video, or podcast, don't just listen. Pause and echo the sentence out loud right after them. For example, if you hear, "I can't believe how fast time flies," you instantly repeat, "I can't believe how fast time flies." Do this with 5-10 sentences a day. It sounds simple, but it rewires your speaking reflex faster than any grammar book ever could. Now, let's talk about real-time feedback, because feedback is how you fix errors instantly. When you practice these 800 sentences, record yourself speaking. Listen to how you sound. Do you sound flat? Do you hesitate? Do you pronounce naturally, or are you overthinking? Then compare it to a native example. Mimic the rhythm, stress, and intonation. Not word by word, emotion by emotion. Let's try a mini drill right now. I'll say a sentence, then you say it back with energy. "I'm totally fine." That's a good point. "I'll get back to you soon." Perfect. See how smooth that feels? That's natural speech rhythm. Now, here's something every confident speaker understands. It's not about how many words you know, but how well you can use the ones you do. Fluent English isn't fast English. It's clear, confident English. You could speak 800 sentences fluently and sound better than someone who knows 8,000 words but hesitates every time. Let me tell you a story. One of my students, Mina, spent years learning English grammar, vocabulary, lists, endless reading. But when she tried to speak, she froze. Then she switched to sentence-based practice. In just 3 weeks, She went from saying, I think maybe yes, to confidently saying, I think that's a great idea. It wasn't magic. It was repetition. It was focus. It was using sentences that already work in real English. So, if you've been learning for years but still struggle to speak, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. You've just been focusing on the wrong thing. Words instead of sentences. Here's your challenge for today. Choose 10 sentences from this video, the ones that feel most useful to you. Say them out loud 3 times each. Record yourself and listen back. If they sound awkward, repeat until they sound natural. You'll be amazed how quickly your confidence grows. All right, now let's dive even deeper into the practical side. How to make these 800 sentences truly yours. Because here's the truth. It's not enough to repeat them. You have to own them. That means adapting them, modifying them, and using them in different situations until they feel natural in your mouth. For example, take the sentence, I'm not sure about that. Now, try expanding it. I'm not sure about that idea. I'm not sure about what he said. I'm not sure about going there tonight. The sentence stays the same, but you can change the context infinitely. That's how you make it part of your speaking DNA. Let's practice another one together. The sentence is, that makes sense. Repeat, that makes sense. Now expand. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. I guess that makes sense when you explain it like that. With each variation, you're training flexibility. You're learning to speak, not just repeat. And here's something most learners never realize. You can't build fluency in silence. You have to speak out loud. Even if you're alone, even if it feels strange at first, speaking aloud activates muscle memory, your tongue, lips, breath, everything that turns thought into sound. That's why shadowing practice works so well. You listen to a native speaker and speak along at the same time. You're not only learning what to say, but how to say it. The melody, the emotion, the confidence. So, as you go through these 800 sentences, don't just repeat, perform them. Put yourself in the scene. Act it out like it's a real conversation. Because that's where fluency begins. Not in silence, but in action. Now that you understand how to use real-world sentences naturally, let's talk about how to build momentum. Because fluency isn't built in a day, it's built in rhythm. The rhythm of consistent daily speaking. Here's the truth. You don't need hours every day to master English. What you need is consistency. Even 15 minutes of focused sentence practice daily beats 3 hours once a week. It's like working out small, steady repetitions build strong muscles, and in this case, your speaking muscles. So how do you structure those 15 minutes? Let me show you a simple but powerful daily routine. Step 1. Warm up your mouth and brain. 2 minutes. Say a few easy sentences just to get your tongue moving. How's it going? I've been pretty busy lately. That's interesting. Say them clearly, confidently, and with rhythm. Don't rush. Just feel the flow of your English voice. Step 2. Focused practice. 8 minutes. Choose 5 to 10 sentences from your list of 800. Speak each sentence slowly 3 times, then naturally once. Example, I didn't catch that. Sorry, could you say that again? That's totally fine. Repeat until They sound like you. You're not memorizing, you're internalizing. Step 3. Real conversation. Simulation. 5 minutes. Imagine a real situation. A cafe, an interview, a meeting, a phone call, and use those same sentences. Let's say you're practicing polite responses. Visualize it. Someone says something unclear. You respond, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that." Then they repeat, and you say, "Ah, that makes sense." Now, this step transforms static learning into real communication. And here's something many learners overlook: intonation. English isn't just about words, it's about melody. Listen to how a native speaker's voice rises and falls. Try saying "really." Rising tone. Curiosity. "Really?" Falling tone. Confirmation. Same word, two meanings, just from tone. This is what gives your English life and emotion. Now, let's talk about a few mindset shifts that separate fluent speakers from frustrated learners. First, stop trying to sound perfect. Perfection doesn't make you flu. Confidence does. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They just keep talking. Second, focus on connection, not correction. When you speak English, your goal isn't to sound like a robot who memorized every rule. It's to connect, to be understood, to express yourself clearly. Third, celebrate small wins. Every time you understand a sentence faster, every time someone replies naturally to you, that's progress. Don't overlook it. That's your fluency growing. Now, let's make this fun time for a real-world challenge. I'm going to give you 5 situations. For each, try to think of a sentence you'd use from your 800-sentence list. Ready? You're meeting someone for the first time. What do you say? Maybe "nice to meet you," or "I've heard a lot about you." You didn't understand what they said. Try "sorry. Could you repeat that?" You completely agree with someone. Say "exactly," or "I couldn't agree more." You disagree. Politely. Try "I see your point, but I think you're ending the conversation. Maybe it was great talking to you." Or, "Let's catch up again soon." These 5 everyday moments happen constantly in real life. If you can respond naturally in each of them, you're already fluent in 80% of daily conversations. And here's something powerful: your brain learns best when it feels emotion. So, when you practice, don't just say the words, feel them. When you say "that's amazing," sound amazed. When you say "I can't believe it," actually feel disbelief. That emotional connection locks the phrase into your memory permanently. Now, let's talk about listening, because speaking and listening are 2 sides of the same coin. Many learners focus only on speaking, but you can't speak naturally if you don't hear natural English every day. Start small. Listen to short clips from YouTube, podcasts, or movies. Not for grammar, for rhythm. Notice how people link their words. Gonna instead of going to, wanna instead of want to, did you instead of did you. That's real English, not textbook English. You don't have to copy every slang form, but understanding them will make you fluent in real conversations. Here's a great trick. When you hear something you like, pause and repeat it out loud. Do it 3 times. Then, imagine yourself using it in a real conversation. That's called active listening. And it turns every video you watch into a free English lesson. And one more thing. Don't underestimate the power of fun. If you enjoy what you're learning, you'll learn 10 times faster. So, choose topics that excite you. Movies, travel, relationships, sports, anything. Then, apply your 800-sentence framework to those topics. For example, if you love travel, practice sentences like, how much is a ticket to London? Is breakfast included? Could you recommend a good restaurant nearby? That way your learning stays alive and connected to your real life. Now, as we move to the next section, we'll explore how to break the translation habit so you can start thinking directly in English, because that's the final step toward true fluency. Thinking in English, that's the point where everything starts to feel natural. But most learners get stuck here because they've built the habit of translating every sentence in their head before speaking. It's like having a slow interpreter between your brain and your mouth. So, let's break that habit once and for all. Here's the simple truth. Fluency isn't about knowing more words. It's about being able to use what you already know instantly. And that happens only when your brain starts processing English as English, not as a second language. Let's start with a small experiment. Think about your morning routine. When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Don't translate. Just see the actions in your mind and describe them directly in English. I get out of bed. I brush my teeth. I make coffee. I check my phone. See how natural that feels? The key is visualization. When you connect English to an image or action instead of your native language, your brain makes the switch to English thinking automatically. Try this with emotions too. When something surprises you, instead of translating, react in English. Whoa, that's crazy. When something goes wrong, oh no, not again. When something goes well, that's perfect. These quick emotional responses train your brain to live in English, not just study it. Now, let's apply this idea to real conversations. Imagine someone asks, "Hey, how was your weekend?" A non-fluent speaker might think, translate to their native language, "It was good." Then translate back, "It was good." But a fluent thinker feels the answer directly in English. "It was great. I went hiking with some friends." No translation, just expression. So how do you train this? Step 1. Surround yourself with English constantly. Your phone, your playlists, your YouTube feed. Everything. The more your brain sees and hears English, the faster it rewires itself. Step 2. Use micro moments for many conversations in your head. When you're cooking, think, "I need more salt." When you're walking, "It's really hot today." When you're tired, "I should take a break." You're not talking to yourself. You're training your brain to operate in English mode. Step 3. Build confidence through quick responses. Fluent speakers don't pause to plan. They react. So practice instant reactions. If I say thank you, you immediately say you're welcome. If I say see you tomorrow, you say sure. Take care. This quick back and forth rhythm is what makes conversation flow naturally. Now let's talk about mistakes, because this is where most learners lose confidence. You will make mistakes. Everybody does. But here's the mindset shift. Mistakes are proof of progress. Every time you make one, your brain is actively adjusting and improving. When a baby learns to walk, they fall hundreds of times, but no one says, "Oh, maybe walking isn't for me." They just keep going. You need that same mindset for English. Every time you stumble over a word, every time you forget a sentence, that's not failure. That's training. And there's something important about confidence here. Confidence doesn't come after fluency. It comes before it. You have to start speaking before you feel ready. That's how you grow. Let's take an example. You're in a cafe and you need to order coffee in English. Your heart's racing. You're scared you'll sound wrong. But instead of overthinking, just say it. "Hi, can I get a latte, please?" You've just spoken real English in a real situation. That's fluency in action. Now let's take it one step further. Turning practice into habit. Habits are what separate dreamers from doers. You could watch hundreds of English videos and never get fluent if you don't apply what you watch. But if you use just 10 sentences every day, your progress will be unstoppable. Here's your mini daily challenge. Learn D sentence. Say each out loud 3 times. Use at least 2 of them in real life that day. Maybe when chatting online, talking to a friend, or even speaking to yourself while cooking. By the end of 1 week, that's 70 sentences used in real contexts. By the end of a month, 300. By the end of a few months, you're speaking naturally without even realizing it. Now remember, your 800 sentences aren't random. They're the building blocks of every natural conversation you'll ever have. When you master them, you'll start recognizing patterns, the way sentences connect, the rhythm of real English. Here's a quick example of that. Connection in action. Base sentence. I don't know. Expand it. I don't know what you mean. Then I don't know what you're talking about. Then I have no idea what you're talking about. Same idea. Different levels of fluency. You can feel the natural growth as you progress. So the next time you learn a new sentence, play with it. Change the subject. Change the verb. Adjust the tone. That's how you build real flexibility in speaking. Before we wrap up, here's something to think about. Every fluent English speaker you admire, they didn't start fluent. They just practiced more efficiently. They didn't study grammar for hours. They practiced communication. And that's exactly what you're doing now, turning knowledge into skill. Now let's bring it all together in the final part, where I'll give you your step-by-step roadmap to keep building unstoppable English confidence every single day. Let's bring everything together. Now you've learned the foundation. You've practiced the 800 sentences and you've discovered how to activate them in real conversations. But the real question is, how do you keep that momentum? How do you turn this from a short burst of motivation into a lifelong skill? The answer is structure. A simple, realistic system that fits into your day. Because fluency doesn't happen from one big effort. It happens from small, consistent actions that you repeat over time. So here's your personal roadmap to unstoppable English confidence. Step 1, the 10-sentence rule. Every day, learn or review just 10 sentences from your 800. Don't just read them, speak them out loud. Feel the rhythm, the sound, the emotion. Record yourself and listen. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Step 2, the real-life connection. Take 2 of those 10 sentences and find a way to use them that same day in a message, a conversation, or even talking to yourself. The key is application. The moment you use what you learn, your brain marks it as real. Step 3. The 5-minute reflection. At the end of your day, take 5 minutes to review what you said, what felt easy, and what felt awkward. Note the moments you hesitated. That's your next target for growth. You're not just learning English. You're learning how you learn English. Step 4. Build your confidence muscle. Yes, confidence is a skill. Every time you open your mouth and speak English, even if it's not perfect, you're strengthening that muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need to be perfect to be confident. You need to be comfortable with imperfection. Native speakers make mistakes every day. Grammar slips, filler words, unfinished sentences, but they keep talking. That's what you should do too. The goal isn't flawless English. The goal is fluent communication. Step 5. Celebrate small wins. Maybe today you said your first full sentence in English without hesitation. Maybe you understood a movie line instantly. Maybe you joined a conversation online. These moments might seem small, but they're proof that you're evolving. Celebrate them. They're fuel for your journey. And here's the thing most learners never realize. Fluency doesn't come to you. You build it. Sentence by sentence, day by day, mistake by mistake. Imagine this. 6 months from now, you look back and realize you can think in English, respond instantly, and speak naturally without fear. That version of you isn't a dream. It's just a result of consistency. So don't wait for the perfect time to start. Start today. Choose your 10 sentences, speak them, live them, and let English become a part of your daily reality. Because fluency isn't about the future, it's about what you do right now. And before you go, if today's video gave you motivation or helped you see English in a new way, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to JBC English Learning Academy. Every week I post new lessons and real speaking practice designed to take you from learning to living English. Remember, confidence isn't found in a textbook. It's built in action. So, go out there and use your English today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep speaking, keep growing, and keep your JBC English Learning Academy every single